Is it worth reloading in 2025? I guess the short answer is it depends. If you are trying to develop a really accurate load or a specialty hunting round, yeah, it's worth it. If you are just trying to save money and go to the range for less, or go to the range more for the same, or whatever it may be, then it gets a little complicated. I've got some numbers worked up for a few different cartridges just as examples. I ran numbers on 9mm, 5.56, and 30-06. So to start with, 9mm, and this is, like I said, just cheap range ammo that we're talking about here. So and this is buying everything as well, buying the brass once fired, buying jacketed bullets, and powder and primers. So that works out to, if primers are a nickel, I've seen them for $50 per thousand at gun shows recently. Powder, I figured about 3 cents per round for powder. Bullets I found for 12 cents each. Brass, 2 cents each. Now these numbers are just what I found. Maybe you can find a better deal, maybe you can't find that good a deal where you're at. It really kind of depends. So bear all that in mind. But that gives us a total of 22 cents per round. So that works out to $11 per box versus $14 per box buying it off the shelf range ammo. So you could save $3 a box by rolling your own. Whether that's worth it to you or not, I don't know. The other factor that you kind of have to keep in mind is that some of us just like to tinker. I really enjoy pulling the handle on the press and everything else that's involved in it. I get a lot of satisfaction out of that, so that factors into it a little bit too. But I also ran figures, if you cast your own bullet, if you're buying lead for $2 a pound, I have found it for $1 a pound at the last gun show I went to, but $2 seems to be about what I'm seeing on Facebook Marketplace anyway. So whatever, maybe you can find lead for free, whatever. But if you're paying $2 a pound for lead, I figure that's gonna cost about 4 cents per bullet for 9mm. So that saves you 8 cents a round versus buying bullets. If you're not set up to cast and you want to buy the cheapest mold that you can find for 9mm, I would recommend the Lee TL356-1242R double cavity. It runs $38 on Amazon right now. And then a sizing die for 356 would be $26, and a bottle of Lee Liquid Alox lubricant for $15. So that'd be $79. If you're saving 8 cents a round casting, it would take you 1,000 rounds to cover the initial investment for that specialty casting things. Now that doesn't provide a lead pot or a heat source or anything like that, but you can scrounge a lot of that from thrift stores, or you might have some of it already too. I did another video on that. I don't know how to link it in the video, so you'll have to look for that yourself. But anyway, moving on. So that's 9mm there. Kind of just a recap. If you're rolling your own with jacketed bullets, you're looking at about $11 a box versus the $14 retail. Or if you're going to use a cast bullet, that's $7 a box. So that's half price of the store-bought range ammo. So that might be significant savings that might be worth getting into. So moving on to 5.56, if primers are a dime a piece, bullets can be had for 11 cents, powder 18 cents, and 6 cents a piece for brass. That makes it 45 cents per round. And you can buy range ammo 5.56 right now for about $10 in store, so 50 cents a round. So, a nickel a round, is that worth all the process of doing it? To me, it's really not. I guess you'll have to answer that for yourself, but as long as Ammo's kind of come down in price a little bit in the stores, and reloading components have gone up and kind of stayed high. So that's kind of why we're at this weird little place where for range ammo anyway, it's really hard to save money reloading. And then we'll demonstrate that again with 30-06 primers for a dime, bullets for 30 cents, powders 35 cents, and once fired brass is about 35 cents. Now, of course, if you're going to save your brass and reload that, that's going to impact your price quite a bit, especially when we start talking about 35 cents a piece for empties. But assuming we're buying the brass too, that makes a total of $1.10 per round. And I can buy, if you shop around, I've seen 30-06 for 25 per box for kind of an M2 ball type thing. So, you know, if you're talking about like a performance hunting load, you might wind up saving more depending on the price of your bullet, your projectile. That 30 cents that I mentioned was just for 150 grain ball. So, you know, there's so many factors that play into it. But so anyway, those are a few calibers that you know, are relatively common that can kind of give you an idea of what you might stand to invest in the components to roll your own. So given that information, I think with a few exceptions, it's really kind of hard to justify getting into reloading. You know, I didn't talk at all about the initial equipment investment, you know, your press and your dies and your trimming system, lube sizing equipment, whatever that might be, whether it's powder coating or high-tech coating or traditional lubricizer. You know, there's a lot that kind of goes into it. I think in 2025, unless you're trying to make a round for your specific firearm, it's a little bit hard to justify getting into reloading. So anyway, I hope that gave you some insight. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Maybe I missed something. Again, I'm sure you'll bring it up in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. Thanks for watching.